Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel Vanda V Helen. For those who are new here, hi, my name is Veronica and on weekly basis I am sharing you with some crochet tutorials, and this week we are going to make this beautiful chicken in the egg, so Eastern thematic. This is a perfect as a decoration, but of course as a toy for your kids. This pattern is completely no sew, so this is a big benefit. But of course, before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so then you can keep up with all of my upcoming tutorials. So now let's grab your hooks and let's start. Okay, so what we are going to need? We are going to need our yarn. So I am concretely using yellow and white Himalaya Dolphin Baby. Then we are going to need a stitch marker, our 5mm hook, then some scissors, stuffing, and for those who are not going to use a felt dies, then of course you need some safety eyes, and that's it. No needle required as this is completely no sew pattern. So now we can start with our row 1. Okay, actually, as a first thing we are going to make our wings. So we are going to start with not magic ring but with the chain tool. I am using this technique when I have a chenille yarn because it's very easily to be destroyed. So I am starting with my slip knot, grabbing my yarn and pulling through. So now I'm grabbing my hook and now I am going to chain 2, so first and second, and in my first chain space I am going to make 6 single crochet. So this is my first one. I am highlighting my first marker, my first stitch, to not forget, as we are crocheting in a loop. So this was my first one, and now I am going to continue with my second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay, so this is my now 6, and actually from row 2 to row 5 I am just going to simply constantly single crochet all around, so it will be always 6 single crochet. So, and I will make 5 rows, so from row 2 to row 5 I am just simply crocheting, single crocheting around, always 6 stitches, and I will meet you at the end of the row 5. Okay, so now I am done with my row 5, so this is how your wing look like. So now we are just going to simply fasten off. So I am going to cut the yarn. We don't need to leave a longer tail as we are not going to sew our wings, we will be crocheting them alongside of the body. So I am just simply fasten off. Actually we can make this yarn a little bit shorter even, so I'm cutting even more, and I am just going to hide both of these yarn inside of the wing like this. Come, and now I am going to make a second wing and we can start with body. So now once you are done with your wings we are going to start with our body. So again with the body we are going to not use a magic ring, we are going to use a chain 2 method. So I am making my slip knot, putting my hook. Now I am going to chain 2, so 1 and 2. In the first chain this time we are going to make 8 single crochet. So this is my first one. Don't forget to highlight it with the stitch marker. And in the same chain space we are going to continue making another 7 single crochet, so altogether 8 stitches, and I am going to meet you at the end of the row 1. Okay, now once we have our first row done, in the second row we are going to make increases in each of the stitch, which means we are going to place 2 single crochet in each of the stitch. Okay, so as of the row 2 I am going to use a method yarn under, which means I am not grabbing my yarn like this, but I am grabbing it under my hook for both of the times. And why I'm using this method? Simply because I prefer the look on my plushies and on amigurumi, so actually I prefer, because then the look is a little bit neater, plus it's more tighter, so then we are avoiding to have any holes in our plushie. So this was my first single crochet, and as I need to place increase in each of the stitch I am going to place a second single crochet in the same stitch. So basically in each of the stitch we are going to place 2 single crochet all together, and at the end we will have 16 stitches. Okay, now once we are done with our row 2, in the row 3 we are going to place 1 increase and 1 single crochet, 1 increase and 1 single crochet. We are going to be switching all the way till the end. So in my first stitch I am going to place then 2 single crochet. This was my first one, I can't forget to mark it. So first one, second one, in the same stitch this is my increase, and in the next stitch I am going to place 1 single crochet. So basically this way we are going to constantly changing 2 1 2 1 2 1 all the way till the end, and at the end we will have 24 stitches. Now in the round 4 we are making our last increase, so actually we are going to place 1 increase and then we are going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So I am starting with my increase where I will be placing 2 single crochet. Again, don't forget to highlight the first stitch. So this was my first single crochet, and in the same stitch I am going to place the second one. So this is my increase, again, so perfect. So this is my increase, and now in the next 2 stitches I am going to place just 1 simple single crochet. So basically all the time we are going to be switching. It will be 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 all the way till the end, and at the end we will have 32 stitches. Okay, so this is how your work should look like by the end of the row 4. And now as of row 5 till the row 10 we are just going to simply single crochet all the way all the time. Don't forget we are having 32 stitches, so we are just going to place 1 single crochet in each of the stitch each time till the row 10, and I am going to meet you at the end of the row 10. Okay, so now this is how your work should look like by the row 10. Now we are going in the row 11, we are going to attach our hands. So actually as a first thing, start with making 7 simple single crochet, okay? And I am going to meet you once you've done your 7 single crochet. Now once you've done your 7 single crochet, take your first wing, and now we are going to attach it. So you will fold the wing like this, okay, into 2. Now we have 2 rows. This is the first row and the second row, okay? So what we are going to do, we are going to place our hook through both of the side, first side and second side, and actually we are going to repeat it 3 times, 1 2 and 3 here, okay, 3 times. So this is the first time. Now I am going into my next stitch. I am putting my hook in that stitch. So now I have on my hook my original loop, then 2 sides of my wing and the next stitch, and I am going to pull the yarn through all of them besides my original loop, and I will finish my single crochet. Now I will do it again. So going again to the wing, first side and second side, going into my next stitch. If you are not sure what is your next stitch, use your hands, you will feel where you have a next stitch. So this is my next stitch, pulling through all besides my original loop on the hook and finishing single crochet. And now the last time, going through both of the sides, so the first side and the second side, going into the next stitch, pulling the yarn through all of them besides the original, and pulling the yarn first like this. And now our hand is attached without sewing. Now what we are going to do, we are going to continue and we will make now 12 simple single crochet, and we will attach the second hand. So make 12 single crochet and I will meet you there. Now once you've done your 12 single crochet, we are going to attach our second wing, so exactly the same way like we did it for the first one. So we are going with our hook through both of the sides, so first side, second side. Now we are going into our next stitch, which is this one, putting the hook through there. Now I am going to pull my yarn through all of them besides my last loop and finishing my single crochet. And again, now I am going into my wing the second time. I am going through both of the sides again. Now going into the next stitch, pulling the yarn through all 3 besides my last loop and pulling through that one. Now the last time, going through again, always make sure you are going through both of the sides, going into my third stitch, pulling through besides the last one and pulling through that one as well. And our second wing is attached. And now you have remaining 7 stitches, so you are just making simple single crochet in each of them, and I will meet you at the end of the row 11. Before round 12, we are going to actually change to our white color, because this is where we are going to start with our egg part, let's say it. So now what we are going to do and how to change the color. So we are going to cut our yarn, okay, our yellow one. Now you are not going to fasten off normally like this way, but you are just going to pull out the yarn, that's it. Just pull it out like this. Actually, I didn't need to cut such a long tail, you need much shorter. Now, what we are going to do, on purpose I am going to leave here a stitch marker because I want to point out something. So now we are going to skip the first stitch and we are going into the next one. What we are going to do, we are going to grab our hook and we are going from inside out. It needs to be from inside out, from both of the parts. We are now going to grab our yarn and pull through both of the sides, okay. Now it will be a little bit more tricky with the stitch marker, but I want to show you something. So this is the first part, and now I am going to my last stitch here again, but this time I am going into the back loop part only, which is this one. But I need to go there from again inside out, okay, like this, grabbing my yarn, pulling my yarn through. And now actually I will a little bit tighten it. You don't need to tighten it so much. What we created here is a fake stitch, the one that will replace our first stitch. So now you see we have a fake stitch created here. This is our fake stitch, okay? And in this one we are going to place our white color. Let me show you how. Actually, before we continue with our white one, I'm just going to highlight the fake stitch so then I don't forget. So this is our fake stitch, is actually our first stitch. Now I am going to grab my white yarn, where I have the beginning here. Now I am going to make a slip knot, okay, so slip knot. I am putting it now on my hook. Now I am going to that fake stitch, so I am removing a marker and I am going into that fake stitch, okay, and I am just simply going to make a simple single crochet, and this is my actually first stitch. And now my color change is done. When I will be at the end of the row, I will pull tightly both of the remaining yarn, but this is what we will do at the end of the row. So this is how you change your color. And now we can continue with actually doing the round 12 and how to do it. Okay, so actually in the row 12 we are going to be increasing, but also we are going to be constantly crocheting in the front loop only. So besides the first stitch, but first stitch I didn't want to crochet in the front loop only just for the safety reason, as this is the stitch where we were changing the colors. So actually in the first stitch I am going to need to place increase, so which means my second single crochet. Only in the first one I am going through the first two. I'm going normally through both of the loops just to kind of secure the color change, but as of then I am going to be crocheting only in my front loop part. Doesn't matter if I am making just a simple single crochet or am I making an increase. And actually in the row 12 we are going to making one increase and then crochet, simple single crochet in 3 stitches afterwards. So I've done my first increase and now I am going to simple single crochet, but in the front loop only 3 times. 1, again front loop only, 2 and 3. Now my next increase will be only in the front loop part, so which means 2 single crochet in the front loop only. And now I am going to continue with the 3 single crochet, again increase everything in the front loop, and at the end we will have 40 stitches. Okay, so now we are at the end of our row. So how we should do it, or basically we are just simply going to continue in the row 13 and 14. Actually we are just going to make simple single crochet all around. So I am going just simply in my first stitch where I change my color. So this is my first. As of row 13, I am normally doing simple single crochet in both of the loops. So this is where my color change is. So actually what I am going to do, I am just going to put tightly also the yarns, which were those two yarns. Hide them. So this is how my color change looks like. So now in the row 13 and 14 we are just going to simply single crochet all the way. Don't forget we have 40 stitches together, and I am going to meet you at the end of the row 14. Okay, so this is how your work should look like by the end of the row 14, and now in the row 15 we are going to make our first decrease. So actually we are going to make invisible decrease, which means that we are going to place our hook only into the front loop part. So I am going to grab my first stitch, going into the second stitch, front loop part only, grabbing the yarn. Now I have 3 loops on my hook and pulling all 3 of them. And now, so this is my also first stitch, so I am going to mark it. And now I am going to place in the next 3 stitches simple single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to repeat again invisible decrease, so only the front loop part first and second, pulling through, and again single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And this way I am going to continue all the way at the end, and at the end I will have 32 stitches. Okay, once you are done with the row 15, in the row 16 we are going to make just simple single crochet. Don't forget, now we have 32 stitches, so row 16 just simple single crochet, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so now once you are done with our row 16, in the row 17 we are going to make just simple, so we are going to make decrease, and then we are going to place 2 single crochet all the way till the end. So at the end of the row 17 we will have 24 stitches. Then in the row 18 we are going to make 1 decrease and 1 single crochet, and we are going to have 16 stitches, and I will meet you at the end of the row 18 where we will have only last row ahead of us. Okay, so again, row 17 we are going to make 1 decrease and 2 single crochet, and row 18 1 decrease and 1 single crochet. Once we are done with our row 18 where we have 16 stitches, you see that our toy is getting smaller. So actually now if you want to use a safety eyes, place your safety eyes. Don't forget what is your front part. So front is basically, now thanks to the color change you can see what is your back. This is your back, because you see it's not, I will try to make it, it's not, you see it's a color change, it's not basically a simple line like here. You see here we have a clear line, so this is our front. So place your safety eyes here. I'm not using safety eyes, I will use my own felt eyes, so therefore I'm not placing anything. So once you place your safety eyes, then fill the toy now before we do our last row. So actually don't forget to always put a little bit more filling than necessary. At least for me it's always beneficial, because then the toy is very nice and let's call it huggable. So once you filled your toy we can continue with our last row. Okay, so now once the toy is filled we are going to make our last row, which is basically just simple decreases all the time. So in each of the stitch we are going to place invisible decrease, and at the end we will have 8 stitches, and I will meet you at the end how to close the hole. Okay, now once our toy is done, or let's say once we are done with our row 19, which was our last row, we have this hole. So I will now show you how to close it. So you can cut your yarn, leave a little bit longer tail, doesn't necessarily need to be, let's say, too long, simple, fast enough. Okay, so let's fast enough. Good. And now actually what we are going to do, we are going to place our hook to each of the stitch. We have now 8 stitches, and we will be switching between inside and outside all the way through, and this is how actually we are going to close our hole. Let me show you. And that's it for today. So now you should have this beautiful chicken created. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, please don't forget to give a thumbs up. And please let me know in the comments what would you like to see as the next tutorial. And until next time, happy crocheting!